Welcome to the Izzy Chinche Show.
I have been in a space where I was doing things just to feel productive and just feel like, oh yeah, this is what you have to do in order to be successful. Like, this is what you have to do in order to achieve X amount of dollars. And I was like, that's what so-and-so has to do.
I'm so excited you're able to tune in. Join me as I interview athletes, entrepreneurs, and high achievers. I also share much about my life struggles, trials, and successes in hopes to inspire you. I intend for this show to be one of the greatest shows of all time, so your listening and support means the most to me. My goal is to help inspire as many people as possible, so please share with a friend if you enjoy just one thing from today's episode. Together, we can help more people grow. Let's get started.
So I'm going to walk you through a little bit of a day in the life with me, kind of some of my habits, my routines, what I do, what I like to do, what I don't like to do. I'm going to start by just explaining kind of like what my week looks like and what my day looks like. So I'll start with today. So I've been in a phase where I do not enjoy waking up very early. And I've done a lot of, very early mornings for many years in a row. And I'm kind of happy to be out of that phase now and waking up when I'm extremely rested. So this morning I woke up about 7:30 and then I laid in bed until about 8. I didn't even get out of bed until 8. So the first thing that I do every morning when I wake up is literally I just open my blind and try and get as much sunlight on me as possible. And I'm lucky that the sun literally comes right through my window, so it's pretty bright. And I just kind of sit there and I chill, and I do not go on my phone. If I do go on my phone, it's for a specific reason. I try and never go on my phone to react. So I don't go on my phone and be like, oh, what are all the notifications that are coming in? Like, who's texted me, who's emailed me, what are my DMs? If I'm gonna go on my phone, like really quickly in the window of me waking up, or like right in that window of me waking up, it's because I'm going on there with like intent. I had an actual reason that I needed to go on my phone. I needed to reach out to someone or communicate something to someone like that was kind of urgent. But I hate to like start my day by reacting. Like get on my phone, oh, I have all these texts, I have to send this in. Like, no thank you. So after I wake up, I let Hagrid out, and then I try, and Hagrid is my dog. He's an English bulldog. So I go outside with Hagrid. This morning, I went outside for literally 30 seconds because it was so cold. But I was like, I want some fresh air. I'm going to take some deep breaths. I'm going to try and still get outside and do that because it's something I'm committed to doing. So I went outside for a very short amount of time, came inside. I try and chug a bunch of water right in the morning. I brushed my teeth, moved to some extent. Sometimes it's like getting outside, walking 5 steps, whatever. And then it's okay for me to like check my phone at that point. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I like to go like a couple hours without looking at my phone at all, and I love it. When I get to do that, I feel very much in my flow, like what I want to do for my day. So after I did that, I made myself tea and I added like Vital protein powder to it. I go through phases where like I eat breakfast in the morning and sometimes I don't, but I still like always try and get protein. So if I don't want to eat anything, it's just like protein shake or something like that. I try and get as much protein early on in the day as possible. I'm not always that great at it, but it's something that I try to do. So I had my tea and then I journaled and then I worked out. And then I had to go into PT. So PT has been something that's like consuming a lot of my week recently. And it's something that it's a big time sucker because I also have to drive like 45 minutes to go into PT. I stay there for an hour and then I drive 45 minutes back. So it's definitely something that's taking up a lot of my time throughout my week. I'll go 2 to 3 times a week. And so right now that's something that's not usually there, that is there. And instead of PT, if like I wasn't dealing with a knee injury, I'd probably be going to like a jiu-jitsu class or something to that extent. So I went to PT and then I went and coached for an hour. Fridays I usually coach in the evenings, but it's like break and schedules are different. So I coached some of the kids like in the afternoon or late morning, like at 11, and it was a really good session. then I came home, actually stopped and got a coffee. I came home and I had a really, really good meeting with my good friend Leslie Lyon, and we went over this whole new like CRM system. So this entire system to, like, if you don't know what CRM, it's just like a thing to like manage all your leads, send all your emails, host your website. Like, there's a bunch of different things. So we went over like an extensive call. I thought my brain was gonna explode, but it was really, really good, and I appreciated it. After that, I ate some hard-boiled eggs, and then I kind of got ready, and then I hopped on to film. And I typically do not film on Fridays. Typically, my podcast day is on Monday, but my schedule is all crazy, and I felt kind of behind, so I was like, I want to make sure I get on camera and get some podcasts out. So I did that, and then I took my dog for a walk. I hung out with Maggie and helped her get some things done. And I feel like I had another meeting, but I don't even remember. And then I hopped back on film, which is what I'm doing now, because one of my podcasts got deleted, which was super frustrating, but I was still committed to getting it done. So that's kind of just like a normal weekday for me. That's like Thursday through Friday, that's what it looks like. But then Friday nights, I typically coach. So my coaching, like my in-person coaching, like heavy coaching classes typically starts on Friday night. I work with my goalkeepers, and then I go straight into Saturday morning, and I coach anywhere from like 2 to 3 classes full of kids, sometimes do other events. So Saturdays are a pretty big coaching day, and then Sunday I'll have like individual clients, and then maybe a couple more individual clients throughout the week. So my weekend is actually my more busy time. And then aside from doing all that, then Mitchell and I do whatever it is that we want to do and whatever we've been like saving for the weekend. And then Monday is a super crazy packed podcast day, but like I love it. Sometimes I'll have like 4 or 5 podcasts, like with different guests, solo shows, everything. For me, it's super, super fun. And then Tuesday through Friday is like kind of chill, and I get to do whatever it is that I need to do. And as far as like food and workout routines and stuff like that, workout is pretty much non-negotiable for me. I have some sort of workout pretty much every single day. I just don't feel good if I don't. If I don't work out, I don't feel good. I feel kind of like sluggish and lazy, and I just don't have the kind of energy that I really want to have. So working out for me every single day is very, very important. However, like the intensity of my workouts really, really varies, and the type of workouts. Right now, they're pretty like chill and not as hardcore as I want them to be, and not as intense as I want them to be, because I'm rehabbing from a knee injury. But as soon as that is better, I'm excited to get on a really good lifting routine and get back into jiu-jitsu and all that stuff, because I find it extremely, extremely fun. As far as eating, I'll like find one thing that I like to eat, and I'll be like, how have I not been eating this every single day of my life? And then I will eat it every single day for like 3 weeks straight, and then I'm like, I never want to eat this again. And that's kind of my rhythm. I find certain things that I like. Like last 3 weeks, I was super into coffee, and I had coffee every single day, and I was adding like Cool Whipped and whipped cream to my coffee daily, and it was delicious. And then I was like, yeah, I'm kind of over that. I'm kind of over coffee. So that's just how I flow. Same with like dinners. Like there'll be something that I'll cook for dinner, and then we'll literally have it like multiple times a week for 3 weeks straight, and then I'm over it. But I think it kind of comes down to just like knowing yourself. Like, it's okay to switch something, and you know, there's that piece of like, well, where is it that I don't know how to be committed to something? Like, I'm not committed, like I fell off the train or whatever. And for me, it's just like, well, what works good for me? And I think there's a lot of people who get in this space where, actually, a lot of people, I have been in this space where I was doing things just to feel productive and just feel like, oh yeah, this is what you have to do in order to be successful. Like, this is what you have to do in order to achieve X amount of dollars. And I was like, that's what so-and-so has to do to achieve X amount of dollars. That's what that person, that's not what I need to do. And I spent a lot of my life kind of just like always filling in the blanks, like no matter what, with anything that I felt seemed productive, but wasn't necessarily always productive. So for me, like, I would be like, no, I still need to wake up at 5 and get my workouts done and everything. I was like, for me, when I do that, then by 11, I'm absolutely exhausted. And I'm like, I hate that. I don't like being tired by 11 and having to take a nap and like dragging. It's not my flow. And so I say this because it would have been very helpful if I would have learned a little bit sooner that just because, you know, someone else is doing something and like that's their definition of being successful doesn't mean it's a good fit for you. So I'm someone who flows very well working for myself, structuring my days, like being at home, chilling when I need to chill, and like go when I need to go. Other people, that is stressful for them to be able to manage themselves in that way. Like they would rather work for someone instead of having to schedule out all of their days and like figure out what they're gonna do and fill in the slots. And that's like just where you have to like know what is best for me. You know, am I someone who needs to get up at 5 a.m. because I haven't learned, you know, the discipline of that, and I haven't figured out how to be consistent in a space that's kind of tough to be consistent in. I spent a lot of my life getting up very early to work out very early, and like I was always go, go, go. And now I'm in a space where I'm like, I don't feel I need to do that. But if you're someone who's like, man, I sleep in all the time, I want to be getting up early, and I haven't done that in a long time, it's like, okay, yeah, you should probably dial in and do some sort of challenge or something that's going to like help you dial in those details of being consistent and being disciplined. I feel very blessed that I spent a lot of my life practicing being extremely disciplined and committed to something, because now it is not very difficult for me to show up, be consistent, and be committed to pretty much anything. Once I commit to it, I'm like, okay, I'm in, like, I got this, let's roll with this. If you're someone who struggles with that though, then probably being easy on yourself and just flowing isn't going to actually serve you. And as I mentioned, I used to always try and just fill in the blanks with whatever. It's like, this entrepreneur is doing this professional athlete's doing this, so-and-so says to do this, so-and-so says to do this. And I was just like doing things to make myself feel like I was productive and hardworking and whatever, when in reality, sometimes the best thing for me to do is take a nap, right? Or the best thing for me is to like just chill out and watch some TV. Sometimes that's what I need to do in order to be able to perform well in executing the rest of my tasks for that day. Like sometimes I have to chill, because I'm the kind of person, once I'm on and I'm in my zone, I can bust out like 2 months worth of work really in like 3 hours. I really feel like I can get into such a flow and get so creative that I just bust out so much work instead of trying to like force it constantly on times when I'm just like feeling exhausted, and then I just kind of push through it, and then it becomes like agonizing and you kind of face burnout. But for me, if I'm like, okay, well, today I need to just chill and do basically nothing for like 4 or 5 hours, I'll do that. I used to feel very guilty for resting pretty much ever. And now at the point I'm like, okay, I need to chill and take a nap and do whatever. Like, okay, I'm going to do that and really just flow with the way that I need to flow. And I truly believe if I would have learned that sooner, I probably would have saved myself like a lot of stress. Because I got to the space where I wasn't comfortable unless I was stressed. Like just actually stressed. Not like you're under some stress because you're taking on some challenges that are good to take on. I'm saying like constantly stressed, like anxiety, like inducing kind of stress. I lived in that space and I was like, you know what? I didn't like this. I don't want to do this anymore. So all that to say, I think it's very important to check in with yourself. Be like, okay, what phase am I in my life? Like, am I in a phase where I can afford to sleep in till 7:30 and kind of just like enjoy that? Or am I in a phase where I'm like, no, I don't feel like I'm in a space where that's going to be good for me. I feel like it's going to be very good for me to get up at 5:30 and commit to that for like 30 days, get to the gym, you know, whatever it is. And then kind of evaluate yourself. Because if you're like me, maybe you're someone who's like, all right, I already got that discipline, that commitment thing locked in. I need to realize how to not give myself, diminishing returns. I need to realize when to like, all right, let's pump off the gas here for a second. Like, let me chill, let me rest, let me get into my like real creative zone and envision like what I actually want for my future. Or maybe you're on the other side, like me when I was younger. I needed to do the work. I needed to grind it out. I needed to show up consistently and do hard things consistently, because it was very important for me to learn that discipline. And now having that skill, really it's a skill. I have the skill of commitment and discipline. It helps me every single day, because I know if I say I'm going to do something, I'm just going to do it, and it's going to get taken care of. So it helps me. Like for me, I said I was going to start a podcast, and I was going to post a podcast every single week. I'm like, okay, I committed to that, done. That's not hard for me to carry out, but it's not hard for me to carry out because for 10 years, at least 10 years, I constantly did hard things, and I did hard things consistently. And I had to kind of train myself to lay off a little bit and be like, okay, do you really need to do that anymore, Izzy? or can you relax a little bit? Because being an entrepreneur is very stressful. It is constantly stressful. There are so many things that come out, and there's so many hats that you're wearing, and so many things you're trying to figure out. Like some days I'm like, oh my gosh, my brain is gonna explode. And so I'm like, would it be wise for me to add on to this and start, waking up at 5 and doing these workouts at like 6:30 a.m. And I'm like, no, I'd rather sleep in. Like that's what's gonna be best for me. Will that change in a couple weeks or a year? Or like I'm sure it will. Like I'm gonna go and be like, no, need to get up really early. Like that's what I want to do. But right now that doesn't serve me. So all that again to say, I flow very differently, like month to month within my schedule and within my routines. I do love my weeks. Some days are really hectic and I have a lot of meetings, and it honestly really pumps me up. And then some days are super, super chill, and I'm like, okay, like what do I want to do? I want to go spend some time outside, or I want to like read or write or something like that. But then my weekends are more intensive. And then Monday is my big podcast day, and Friday I get straight into my coaching. But thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions or you like this video, please let me know. If you want me to do a podcast on another topic, shoot me a DM or connect with me on my website. Thanks.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm so grateful for your support. I'm already excited for the next show. Turn on notifications and be on the lookout for my next episode. Also, please share the show with anyone you feel like might benefit from listening to. Thank you for all your love and support. I will see you soon.